Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today's going to be a completely different video from what I usually film, since we're doing this whole self-isolation and quarantine and staying home, etc. to try out a new hairstyle, as you can see. These are the faux locks from Boho Locs. I decided to take this opportunity to do this because I do model professionally, and as a result of that, there's a lot of things that I'm not really able to do. I can't switch up my look too much. I have to pretty much look like, you know, the way my pictures and photos look. So to do like a temporary and somewhat drastic hairstyle just doesn't really make sense for my career. But since all of that has been, you know, postponed indefinitely, you know, I decided to try this out. I've never done anything involving color before, so I'm really liking that. Also, this is great as a protective style. Normally, for the past year or so, I have been under wigs. Surprise. I've mentioned this before in favorites videos, but a lot of you guys think all of my hair is real all the time and it just keeps changing. No, I wear wigs a lot of the time. The whole time I was wearing wigs, one of the wigs that I like to wear a lot is a U-part wig, where I have, like, you know, this top portion of my hair, you know, left out. So for that wig, I have to use heat and things like that, and I just really can't find a justifiable reason to continue to put heat on my hair when I'm not going anywhere. So those are the two large factors in what spawned this as an idea. The reason I am filming this is because there's a couple pieces in the front that I need to redo. I have to say there was a bit of a learning curve for me because I don't have any experience doing this at all. So it didn't necessarily take the 2 hours that they said that it does. I'm sure it takes professionals 2 hours to do this, and as an amateur, it took me a lot longer than that. This method is that I'm going to be doing for the individual locks in the front is called the pull-through method. Did prove a little bit challenging, but I'm going to give you guys a couple of my tips that I use. Before I get started, I just do want to show you a couple of the tools that I used. So first, obviously we have our crochet needles. Boho Locs does not sell their crochet needles, which I really wish they would have, especially in times like this, like the shipping delays and everything being uneasy. But I did order these crochet needles off of Amazon. It ended up working out okay, but that's just one note. I just wish I could have just bought it all in one place, but not the point. I ordered this pack of 3 because I wasn't sure what size to get. This 3-pack, which I got from Amazon, that I'll link down below, is a extra large one. This is a, I guess, large one, and a little small mini one. I didn't exactly order the 3 of them on purpose, but I'm so glad in retrospect that I did, because for different areas of my head, or for different braid segments, I used, it was really useful to have these different sizes. For the individuals that I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be using the medium size as well as the little mini one. It's really useful, and I do really recommend getting 3 of them in 3 different sizes for 3 different purposes, because we're doing a whole bunch of different things. The other thing too, as I said, for the individuals, you're going to have to braid down as much as possible. Through my own experience, and hopefully I'll have some of that footage of when I first put them in, it is very tempting to want to, like, just braid down as much of it and then just kind of like leave the ends off, especially if you have natural hair, if you have like frizzy ends the way I do. Don't do that. If anything, if you really do want to be lazy, I think I would more so recommend making sure that the end of the braid is braided more than the actual middle of the braid, especially for this pull-through method, because you actually do need to grip the braid onto this little tiny needle. If I can think of any more tips in the middle of this, I'll probably put them through in the voiceover. So I'm gonna get started on this. I'm probably gonna have to readjust my camera positioning and things like that, because I need to be a little bit closer to my mirror, which is right behind you. And yeah, so we're gonna get started, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and find it useful. One thing that I wanted to make sure that I did as well was make sure that I could get the front done in a way that I liked. Obviously I'm gonna have to fix this one, but I wanted to practice on some of the front pieces before I did the whole head, just to make sure that I could do it. This is the first time that I'm doing this, and I just wanted to make sure that the hard part and the most crucial and necessary, which is the front, was, you know, able to be done to my satisfaction, because it would really suck to have a whole head of these done just to not be able to do the front. So these were the remaining locks that I had left. It comes in 6 segments, and I only used about 5. This one piece that I'm redoing, as you can see, is just one I think I did a little bit too big, especially for the front, so I decided to cut it down into 2 sections. So now I'm just going to take it and rebraid that entire little braid all the way down, like I said. And this was clearly my least favorite part of the process. So for the first segment of the individual braid, I'm going to use the medium-sized needle out of the pack that I have. We're going to slide that through the base of the braid. Sorry, it's a little bit hard to see that from this angle. Then you're going to clip the lock into the crochet needle, and then you're going to pull it through the braid. Once you have that pulled through, you're going to loop it and tie it in the knot, just a regular loop knot. Make sure it's nice and tight and secured. And then you're going to get your little mini tiny needle, and that's going to go inside of the lock itself. So when you're doing the sections that are closer to the scalp, it's a little bit hard to see, but it's what I recommend is just kind of using your fingers to feel where the middle of the lock is. So once you've pulled the needle through the lock, you're just going to find the tip of your braid at the very, very end of it and just string it through the inside of the lock. It's not difficult, but it can be a little bit hard to see, and since my hair is longer, it takes me about 4 times to get the length of my braid inside of the locks individually. Once you get to the ends, it does get a little bit more difficult and tedious, but there you have it. Yay! So now we're going to move on to the next one that I decided to split in half. You know, once again, rebraid the entire section, my favorite part. And this time I was able to get a much better angle view of doing the initial crochet knot. Remember, for this portion you're using the medium-sized crochet needle. That's the one that goes through the base of the braid, and then here we're switching to our little mini tiny one. I just found that this was a system that worked out for me very well. For me, the eye of the tiny needle was too small to grip around the lock itself, and I also found that the medium one the eye was too big to, grip that little end of my braid. So switching back and forth between the two was something that really, really helped me a lot. And as you can see, this little end of my braid is just a couple of strands of hair, so there isn't a whole lot to grip onto. That's why I really helped to use the tiny small needle to get to the ends. And this is the finished product. These locks come in a variety of different colors. Now I have I think that they're like the standard length locks, and I'll show you what they look like on my body frame. This length is the standard length, and I have the color, it's a mix color. That's the Bey-blonde and Bronde color. One thing I did notice from the website is that it was hard to tell exactly what the color is from the website in different lighting, and that is totally reflective of reality. Like, it looks different in different lights in person. So now that I see that, I get it. First I thought it was just gonna be really, really dark hair. Like right now, I think it looks a little bit lighter than it does in some other instances. I hope that makes sense. I'm just gonna take 2 out to show you what they look like side by side. So here we have the Bronde. She refers to it as the blonde for us. It's more of like an auburny, coppery color on the ends, and then the Bey-blonde is, it is more blonde. So this is what, oh, I just switched them over, I'm sorry. Here you go. This is what the two look like side by side. This one here on this side is the Bey-blonde. As you can see, as it goes up, like you can kind of see a slight difference. I hope this is focusing. You can kind of see a slight difference in the base color, I think. Out of the 6 segments that it came with, I used 5. I think that, I want to say I spent $160 maybe. It is anyone's decision as to whether or not they think, beauticians and salons are are, you know, suitable and safe to go to right now, but I have been doing my own hair for most of my life. I told you that I started these, I put them in around the 1st of April. Today is June 12th. I did redo the front. It was getting a little bit fuzzy about halfway through. Other than that, I have not had to touch these. So when I say haven't had to touch them, you guys probably, if you were watching this, you probably, you know, at least like, you know, you sleep in a scarf or a bonnet at night, and with Boho Locs, you don't have to do that. I would go to bed just like this and wake up and look just like this, minus the makeup, obviously. I really felt like my hair has been on vacation for these past 2 months, and I'm so sad to take it out. All in all, this is some of the best money I've ever spent in my life, and I don't know when I will be able to put this hairstyle back in because it is not ideal for modeling, unfortunately. And when I do it again, I think I'm gonna try like the black or like the natural color, just to, you know, because I did feel like, because I've never experimented with color before in my life, and as much as I love how this looks on me with my, like, you know, skin tone, there were certain items in my wardrobe that just maybe clashed a little bit with this color. I mean, that's like that's not even a gripe. I don't even know what to say about that, but I'm not someone who's very like experimental, especially with hair colors. I've never done anything that was not exactly my hair color before. In summation, self-install is totally possible. I just recommend that you know how to cornrow your own hair. Do your individuals in the front before you do the rest of your hair. This has been the best protective style I've ever used. I think my hair has probably grown at least like 1.5 inches in this time. Like, hold on, like when I feel, so my hair is from this fingernail, my new growth under here is from this fingernail to about here in 2 months, because I haven't touched it. I've left it alone. So I'm gonna say it for the millionth time, but I am devastated to see this go, and I can't wait to get more colors and put this and do this hairstyle again. Okay guys, I hope that this review of Boho Locs was helpful. As stated before, these are 2 months going strong, and I'm only taking them out because of, you know, other work commitments. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was useful, and Boho Locs will be linked down below. I think I have like a $10 off coupon code potentially, as well as the link to my crochet needles. If you have any questions, I'd love to answer them. Please comment down below, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!